Espanol. Okay, just ask him how we the boom mic. Oh, we're going to get started. I guess we're going to start here and we'll figure it out next. Hi, this is Paul Slacker's Good News Broadcast, and you're watching the Water Hour. Today is our 28th hour of programming on the subject of water. Obviously, we are very concerned, and we are very happy about this subject. Concerned because not everybody in the world has water. Happy is that many people do have water that they're drinking, that they're playing in, that they're sustaining their lives with. And water is very, very important, as we all know. So just a couple reminders. You're able to chat while we're doing this program. Please send us any kinds of questions that you might have that we can share with our audience. And if you have anybody you would like for us to meet and put on the Water Hour, just let us know. Okay, so I'd like to first mention that this week was a very big week in the world of environment. There are 1,000 delegates meeting in Vienna. This is sort of the aftermath of the Kyoto environmental conference that happened some years ago. And today actually is Friday, September-ish, 1-ish. And they are finalizing on thoughts. I know they're talking about trillions, actually in dollar signs, of monies to be able to deal with environmental concerns and conditions. But the fact of the matter is that most of the countries of the world are represented there and will hopefully come up with some solution. So that's very good news. Today is a great show. We have on our show today a group of people and a superstar in my belief, in my life, Pilar, Rioja. And I love her because she's first a very kind, warm-hearted person. Actually, we've interviewed her in the past on Good News, and so you're able to hear an audio interview. But I was never able yet to show you her talents, which are magnificent in the world of Spanish dance, Spanish modern dance, in flamenco, and just lighting up a stage. So today she's going to light up our stage in our studio here at 126 Fifth Avenue with herself and her musicians, and we're going to learn about her repertoire, and we're going to learn about the Spanish Repertory theater from Jose Antonio Cruz, who I've been speaking to for years, saying, let's make a TV show, let's make a TV show. So now we're finally going to make that TV show. After this glorious moment, and she's going to do something on fire. Well, she's always on fire, but I think the dance has something in relationship to fire. But fire and water, you need water for fire, but in any case. So then after that, we're going to go back to the Gran Canary Islands in Spain, and we have done some more interviews with some of the people that attended the Campus 07. And our first interview is going to be with Sheldon Glashow, and he's a Nobel Prize winner in physics. He's also a professor at Harvard and Boston University, and he's going to talk about his involvement with the Campus 07 and about physics and about life overall in general. Then Andrew Beer, who is running an organization called, the primary principal actually he is, of the Foreignness Fund, how the securities markets work and why. So the interesting aspect of his conversation is business. We're over in Canary Islands thinking about actually positive ways to improve the environment, health, and education. But you also need the world of business to be able to make these things succeed. And I think we're also going to learn about that with the repertoire, because they are helped by many funders and corporations, Target being one of the main ones here for this last outreach that Pilar is doing. So we love the companies that are doing good, and I think we always need to recognize them. I'm not sure if Reed is going to call, but I do know that Reed is trying to collect all the water he can. It hasn't rained, it's drizzled. He wants to make sure that, and this comes from his log, he wants to make sure that he has enough water for the 3,000-day voyage. And if you go to 1000days.net, you can learn about it. So he was saying that he took out the desalination piece of equipment So that was, I think, the first time he's used it, wanted to make sure it worked. So that's something you can read and learn about. And he did get some water, so he's a happy guy, because some places of the world have no water. So let's get to the show here right now, okay? And so, as I mentioned, we have Jose Antonio Cruz and Pilar. Welcome. Buenas tardes. I think we're after 12, right? Is that right?
Yes, that's true.
Good. I love when I can speak Spanish, and I'm trying to learn it better. So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for allowing us to be here. We're delighted to join you in good news.
So tell us about the Repertory. Tell us about the organization. I know you've been around for some years.
Well, Repertory Español is one of New York's best-kept secrets, in my opinion, right? We're a tiny theater on 27th Street between Lexington and 3rd. And we present plays in Spanish year-round. And we also have, the pleasure to work with Pilar Rioja, who has been with us for 35 years.
35 years?
35 years. So, Repertorio presents...
He only looks about 36.
Oh, yes, it's true. We present plays in Spanish from Latin America, the Caribbean, Spain. So we have a true repertory, we're one of the few true repertory theater companies in the United States, which means that we have a pool of approximately 20 to 25 different plays, and we rotate them constantly, which means that, for example, this Thursday, you'll see Pilar at 7 p.m., and then on Friday, you'll see a drama titled Boxcar, and then on Saturday, you will have a stand-up comedy show by one of the greatest Colombian artists, and then next week, we'll have a new play. So we're constantly rotating plays. And we use our own company of actors that we probably have around 45 different actors which we work with every year. So it's quite exciting what we do. We do over 350 performances a year in our tiny 140-seat theater, which is very intimate, it's very beautiful. It really reflects what a Spanish theater would be. And we're very happy to be there.
Okay, well, we're very happy that you are here. It is a beautiful theater. It is intimate. It has a nice little lobby, and I think sometimes you give out Rioja wine. No,
Rioja wine, yes.
To the guest, which is always as a nice thing. And you have a balcony also, right?
Yes, definitely.
And it's a nice stage, and it's very nice acoustics.
Oh, it's perfect. And for Pilar, it works perfectly. Pilar has been performing there for 35 years, right, Pilar?
Sí, bueno, desde el 73.
Since 1973. And, it's a great melting pot of, as you well said, business and nonprofit and artists. We have a great team of supporters. Target is one of them. They just started sponsoring our Target $1 Sundays, family Sundays, which means that family members can buy one ticket at the regular price, and they can buy the second one for $1 for a family member. And we also have supporters like MetLife, HSBC, Time Warner, Citigroup, so many, Lehman Brothers Foundation. I don't want to leave anyone out, but we definitely have over 100 different supporters, and it's a great partnership that we have with companies from the city and from abroad as well.
Okay, and so and we could see the names of the companies on. You have a website, right?
Yes, definitely. We have a website. It's repertorio.org.
Okay, we'll include that on the credits.
Yes,
to make
please.
It easier for people.
And we encourage people to visit the website and take a look at what we do. Although most of our plays are in Spanish, we do have live simultaneous translation, which means that for those people that don't speak Spanish, they can get a headset and they can listen to what's going on stage in English.
Well, I know. Over at this Campus 07, they had I think he was from Colombia, a comedian, Ernesto, and he was very funny. I mean, so I went to hear him because I'm trying to learn Spanish, and I didn't use the headsets. But when everybody's laughing and having fun, you can have fun even if you can't understand fully the language. And I said to him, I'm enjoying this. I don't know. You're even funny, and I don't understand what you're saying. It's just somehow, I think the community, the crowd, once everybody gets excited, it's a good thing. But you have serious plays as well, right?
Yes, I mean, we have a very healthy combination of comedies and classics from Spain, like Federico Garcia Lorca, Blood Wedding, The House of Bernarda Alba. We have a version of El Quijote by Cervantes, which is lots of fun. It's very colorful, very carnivalesque, like we like to call it. And we have plays by contemporary playwrights, Cándido Tirado, Carmen Rivera, which are plays that really speak to Hispanics that live in the United States, because it reflects their experiences in this country. And we have a good number of audiences. Most of our shows are sold at 95% capacity, which means that we're trying to reach that community, and we're doing a good job, and we're very proud.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, and you're the Director of Audience Development and Public Relations. So, Pilar, this is what it says about it. Worldwide as the Queen of Spanish Dance. Born in Torreon, Mexico, I don't know, to Spanish parents, okay, who hailed from the Rioja region. Oh, okay, that's a part of Spain, right? And from the time she could walk, her parents encouraged her to dance and supported her pursuit of her career in the arts. And we have her musicians here as well. Pilar, tell us a little bit about the kind of dance that you're going to do here today.
Que nos habla un poco del tipo de baile que usted va a interpretar el día de hoy.
Bueno, ahora vamos a hacer unos tangos con tientos, que es un baile flamenco, que bueno, dicen de los tientos, de los tangos se dice que vienen de aquí de América, que tienen influencia africana, y son bailes de ida y vuelta, que son los que nacen aquí y se aflamencan en España.
What she's going to perform now is titled Tientos y Tangos, which is not to be confused with the Argentine tango. And what's interesting is that these dances were born in America and somehow made their way back to Spain.
Really?
And now are known as Spanish. So it's a real mix between the African influences, the Indian influences of America, and then they were brought to Spain and made Spanish.
Well, you know, I learned because I was at the Gran Canary Islands, which is a Spanish territory, which is next to Africa, that Spain and Africa actually are, you know, they're almost connected by the hip, right?
Que estuvo en las Islas Canarias y aprendió que España está conectado a través de las Islas Canarias con África, básicamente. Así que
también, sí.
Entonces, ¿tienen algo que decir de esa influencia africana en los bailes de España?
Sí.
De la influencia africana en los bailes de España.
Bueno, pues es más de América, ¿no? En América.
Yeah, in the case of the Spanish dance, the influence is mostly from Africans that live in America.
In America, wow!
That were brought to America.
Como son como las guajiras, las sabaneras, las colombianas, también las chaconas en el siglo XVII, las zarabandas. Todo eso tienen influencia de América.
So all the types of dances she mentioned, like guajiras, las zarabanas, colombianas,
zarabandas, chaconas. Que a la chacona Quevedo le decía la mulata.
La mulata. So all these are types of dance that originated in America and somehow made it back to Spain.
I missed all I thought they had just a salsa. What are these? Are these dances that the Hispanic community, Latin community does here in America?
Que si estos bailes que usted mencionó
in a nightclub?
Son bailes que todavía se bailan acá en América al día de hoy.
Bueno,
como en los salones.
No, en los salones no, ya. Eso ya se ha perdido mucho, ¿no? Pero, digo, la semilla del flamenco ha estado siempre en España.
No, she thinks that most of these dances are not danced anymore in America, and it's mostly strictly performed mostly on stages, not necessarily on salons anymore. But it's not. We shouldn't confuse the flamenco essence is still part of Spain. It has been influenced by America. But it's folk Spanish dance.
Okay, great. I know Spanish dance is very popular. We have we have a party at our friend owned the Copacabana, and every Wednesday we have a party. But that's big band, swing, and salsa. But they have Latin music, and Latin music and Spanish music has become very, very popular here in America. So I imagine that's helping you also when Pilar comes here, because people would want to see her, as we want to see her. So tell us a little bit about the musicians that are going to accompany her now.
Yeah, so we have Alfonso. Alfonso is a cantador. He's going to be singing for Pilar. Antonio, who's been with Pilar for 10 years almost as a guitarist. And then Jose Luis, who's also been with Pilar for 20 years. And every time Pilar comes to New York, they come with her and perform here. Alfonso is actually lives in New York, but he can also speak a little bit more about, if you ever want to know more about the Spanish music and Spanish songs. He knows a lot about.
We'll do another interview with him. All right, and we'll get that out there. All right, well, fantastic. So I think I would love to start to see Pilar perform.
Sí.
And we're going to take off the microphone and get this all organized to be able to do this here at our studio. This is a first for us to have such a special. And the concept that this is fire is from where? Jose, how come this?
It's from the flamenco.
The flamenco, just in essence, that being fire.
Yes, I mean flamenco it's constantly compared with passion, fire, color, many different elements, right? And we believe that definitely water can light out fire, right?
Water can put down fire.
I don't know if that can happen with Pilar's fire because hers is very strong,
she is quite firesome.
Yes.
So what we're going to do is just, I think, Peter, we all ready to go here? We're going to get the mics ready. Give us uno momento, and we're going to make a couple adjustments in the studio. So maybe while they're doing it, Jose, let me ask you another question. So what are some upcoming shows?
Upcoming shows. Right now, we're doing a series of plays that deal with the issue of the borders, of immigrants crossing the border. We just premiered a play titled Boxcar, which is it's a tragedy. It's about immigrants trying to cross the border in a boxcar and why they do it. And so it reveals a lot of truths of things that are happening right now and people don't necessarily know about. We also have a new play coming up titled Nowhere on the Border, which is basically about a father that is looking for her missing daughter across the desert. So it's a very sad story, although it's very moving and very touching, because in the way he encounters a Minuteman, a patrol guard, who's looking for basically immigrants trying to cross the border. And they encounter that they have a lot in common, more in common among themselves than among those people that rule their lives, basically the government or those that are in power. We're also going to have an adaptation of Jorge Amado's Doña Flor and Her Two Husbands, which is a great and very fun Brazilian novel that's going to be coming in January. We're going to have a play titled Escrito y Sellado, Written and Sealed, which deals with the AIDS problematic. And it's a great Venezuelan playwright named Isaac Chocron. And what else do we have? I know we have one more that's coming up. It's a great comedy. It's titled Japanese Don't Wait, or Can't Wait, which I'm not very familiar with, but I know that it was presented at Repertory several years ago, and it was a great success. And we're going to have several TV soap opera stars do the main roles, which promises to be quite fun experience.
So it's very diverse. You're diverse within. Well, I think when we've had a multicultural marketing company for many years, 23 years, and. I'm proud to say we got the Amigo Award at one point for our multicultural efforts. And, the difference in the cultures between, as you said, Venezuela or Brazil or Spain and all the different, Latin countries, each one has their own heritage and culture to share, right? So you probably get a great selection from every one of the countries.
Definitely. It's unfortunate that when sometimes we Americans think about South America, we don't recall that there's 22 different countries. So there's great diversity within Latin America itself, and we also have the Caribbean, the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, the Cubans, and then we have Central America, Mexico, we have Colombia, we have Venezuela, and all these cultures are represented at our theater in one way or the other, whether it is through playwrights or directors or actors. In the case of Pilar, Pilar is a Mexican-born artist performing Spanish dance, which is also a very interesting combination. And that's reflected throughout all our productions.
Well, great. Well, I think that's super. So are we okay here to have Pilar begin?
Yeah, I think so. Why don't you just hold on that shot, and then what we're going to do is just... And whenever Priscilla is ready, we're going to go to her camera.
Okay. There it is. There's the big move.
Okay, we're ready?
All right.
Switch there.
acómpame a mi Jesús y a contarle a mi Jesús. Yo vengo ya a la capilla y a contarle a mi Jesús la fatiguita que estoy pasando. La culpa la tienes tú. La fatiguita que yo estoy pasando. La culpa la tienes tú. Ay, el peine de plata. No digas te peino y te despeino con mi suspiro, con mi suspiro. Te peino y te despeino con mi suspiro, con mi suspiro. A mi alegría ya te voy andando, que mi canal está esperando. A mi alegría ya te voy andando, que mi canal está esperando. A mi alegría ya te voy andando, que mi canal está esperando.
I am so happy I do what I do, and we're doing what we're doing. That was really fantastic. Thank you so much. You gave so much here. What an honor. Thank you, musicians, all of you. You're just, it's just so special. And Jose and the Repertoire, and you got to be out of your mind not to come and see the whole show. That's all I have to say. So obviously, you need a lot of water now to douse the power and the intensity of and the beauty of the Pilar and the group. So thank you very much.
Thank you for allowing us to be here.
Okay, thank you, Jose. All right, we're going to go to the Nobel Prize winners in the Gran Canaria. This is like our Spanish Latin day here at Good News, and I think you can also learn a lot about other countries. Maybe we'll start to add some other facts about water conditions in Mexico and other places in the world. So we learned a lot about them in Spain. So once again, thank you very much for being here. You know what? My floor is very lucky. There's no doubt about it. It's beautiful. Okay, so let's go to Sheldon and over to the Gran Canaria Islands now. Thank you. Yeah. Broadcast. We're here. This is the second day, day 2, of the wonderful Africa from the beginning to the future. Beautiful thing when the kids actually, become. That means between faiths. He's a believer in all faiths and all kinds of people with all kinds of. Additions to life. So hi, this is Paul Sackis, Good News Broadcast. We're here, this is the second day, day 2, of the wonderful Africa from the beginning to the future, the Campus de Excelencia, and we're in Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands. I am honored to have one of the Nobel Peace Prize winners for science, right?
Yeah, no peace, no.
Peace of science.
Science.
Okay, in the world of physics, I believe. And Sheldon Lee Glashow, hi, how are you?
Pleasure to be here, Paul.
Well, I think that science leads towards peace. What is your thought?
Well, science doesn't lead to peace any more than it leads to war. It was, after all, that science gave us weapons like machine guns and nuclear bombs, but on the other hand, it also gave us the possibility of living long and healthy lives. So science is neither moral nor immoral. It is people who are moral or immoral.
Okay, that's a lot to think about right there, and the opening line of our day 2 here.
Day 2 of the second edition of the Campus of Excellence. Actually, I was here last year for the same program, but then it was not directed at Africa.
Well, probably you had the same, similar, or added on similar wonderful thoughts about humankind. You're a believer in humanity?
I certainly am a believer in a healthy and happy future for humanity, and more relevantly for myself, in a humanity that understands the workings of nature better than it does today.
When we try to, is it nurture or nature? I don't know. They talk about this. Are we part of the planet around us, the animal kingdom, the environmental trees? Do you think we're associated? Like they've now proven that the DNA is quite similar in certain respect to a degree.
Oh yeah, our DNA, we're 99.5% similar to one or another sort of monkey. Indeed, I don't think that it pays to debate whether or not Darwin was right or not any longer. Science has pretty well shown that we are what we are, animals that have evolved.
How about the plant world, the trees and the plants around us? There has been some, I guess, belief that they have a similar DNA as well?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a biologist. I'm sure they do have. All living creatures have DNA. There's no question of that. Why do you ask in particular about plants? Do you talk to them?
I have talked to plants. I'm not exactly sure whether they have spoken back, but I have hugged many a tree. And I kind of think that to a certain degree there might be a tree from me at some point.
Well, as my ex-brother-in-law Carl Sagan said, we are cousins to the tree. We are very close. Their DNA and our DNA are not 95% similar, but they have many similarities. So they are our cousins. So is poison ivy.
I know, and I try not to hug that. That sometimes wants to tug me. And I say, no, not me. or not anyone. It's amazing how plants can are health oriented and then some not so.
Well, I'm a little bit distressed that I'm here right now. I'm having a wonderful time with my wife, but the blueberries are going to the birds.
Now, you were coming in from Boston, is that right?
Yes, we live in Brookline, near Boston University, which is where I do most of my teaching today. I used to be at Harvard for a while, but it's too far away and it's on the wrong side of the river.
Wait a second, you can take those, you can take those kayaks and all those boats, and you could just take one of those from Brookline.
That's true. You can also walk, and it's only a 40-minute walk to Harvard, but it's a 10-minute walk to BU.
All right.
Hence I moved.
There you go. That makes total and utter sense. It's never been heard. Oh, it's never been heard. No. And so, what were you speaking about here?
I was speaking here about basic science and my worries that kids in America and in Spain and especially in Africa know nothing of mathematics and nothing of science. And they talk of doing wonderful things for humanity, but without knowledge, you end up doing the wrong things. And I gave as an example my country, America, which our administration appears to be fascinated with ethanol, saying that ethanol will solve the energy problem, whereas all it does is put money in the pockets of farmers.
Okay. So I hear the word hydrogen. Is that a good word?
Hydrogen is a wonderful word, and it is, unfortunately, our president does not seem to realize that hydrogen is not a source of energy. It's merely a device to carry energy, so that there is no way we can develop a hydrogen economy to provide our energy. Hydrogen does not provide energy. Again, a little bit of science in high school or maybe kindergarten would be useful to our politicians.
Interesting. Okay. How have you found the students here?
They're easy to find. They're the younger people, and they vary. Some of them are more interested in form than substance. That is, they devote themselves to understanding how to develop leadership and management skills. But I think it's more important to develop conceptual skills like science and mathematics. For without them, you have nothing to lead.
So science, in essence, I think what you're saying, what your belief is that it's conceptual, but it's also hands-on. It's real, right? You really make something move, or you come up with some discovery, something what we think is maybe semi-tangible.
Well, I don't think it's so much a matter of making discoveries. Scientists will continue to make those. I think it's important for the average person, the average man and woman, to understand science in a hands-on way. And I'm very proud of a couple of my Nobel colleagues who have devoted themselves to science education, both in one of them in France and one of Charles Pack in France and Lederman in the States, have devoted themselves to elementary education in the United States and elsewhere. And this is becoming a successful enterprise in a few countries like Colombia and in France, and hopefully someday even in the United States.
When you won the prize, what did you win it for?
I won the prize for my contributions to the unification of the weak and electromagnetic forces, and I shared it with two people, one of whom was the first Muslim to win the Nobel Prize in Science, my friend, recently deceased, Abdus Salam, and the other was my high school buddy from the Bronx High School of Science, Stephen Weinberg.
This is volcanic land. Or maybe all land is volcanic. Is all land volcanic land?
No, I don't believe so, no.
We went over...
These islands, Lanzarote is an island very near here, which is volcanic, and I don't know if you visited it.
We visited it on Sunday.
They've developed a very exotic agriculture that you may have noticed, very small holes with plants in them.
Wine, little trees.
Very good wine.
Very good wine. And we tried it, and they use the soil as a good drain of from the gravel from the lava.
And also on the top of the mountain, you may have noticed that there's a little hole that if you pour a pint of water in, it becomes a geyser. And they use geothermal energy for cooking on top of that fire mountain. It's really quite an interesting...
It is interesting. Maybe you can explain, because the question did evolve, because we just were there right at the end of the day. But why only in that spot? How did they go to? They just dug down deep, or that was a natural?
No, there are some areas of the Earth where geothermal activity is close to the surface, such as Iceland, which has geysers, of course, and there, and also in Lanzarote, they can use this energy in a useful fashion, but it's only here and there, and there's geothermal energy is not likely to be a solution to the energy problem.
Let me ask you a question, because we're doing a show on water, the Water Hour. Was that when it burst out? Is there water? Is this because of water? Does water have something to do with it? Water.
With what?
With they put water into that hole, and it burst out with steam.
Yeah, well, where there is geothermal activity and water, you will have geyser activity, such as in Iceland and in America. What is it? Which park is it? Old Faith.
Yellowstone.
Yes, indeed.
So it's the water that actually helps to make the disturbance.
Well, first you need the source of energy, which is the heat, the geothermal heat. It is hot deep under the ground, and at some points on the Earth that heat is close to the surface, allowing for the possibility of geothermal activity such as geysers.
If there's heat under the ground, I don't know if this makes any sense, it could very well not be, it might be a kindergarten question. If there's heat under the ground, can't we transform the heat from, or maybe we're doing that, from under the ground, above the ground, and make that our energy source without using oil?
Yeah, that is the source of energy in places where the heat is close to the surface, but in most of the Earth, the heat is very far down, a mile down or so, and it would be a little expensive and difficult to extract geothermal energy. So once again, the wind, of course, is more than just for the birds. It can give us a useful amount of energy. Geothermal energy is not very useful unless you happen to live in Iceland.
Physics is what? The study of physics. What does physics mean, that word, and what is the study of?
Physics is the study of matter and energy, and everything that matter and energy can do. So what I, myself, am concerned with is the ultimate structure of matter, the simplest structures of which matter is made, quarks, leptons, photons, things with funny names, maybe strings, string theory, we don't know, but we're interested in the fundamental basis of matter rather than matter as found in nature.
Don't you wish you were here? Oh my God, what a way to start the day. Thank you so much. I appreciate the knowledge, your participation here, and for being kind enough to speak with Good News Broadcast. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. I appreciate this. Hi, Paul again here, and I'm with my good friend, Andrew Beer. Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. I'm delighted to see the sunshine on your tie.
We like to wear this tie. It's a Save the Children tie. It says peace on earth. And in most cases, 99% there is peace on earth. And it's a good world.
There's a lot of goodwill and good news in the world today, yes. And
we're appreciative of you.
And vice versa. And here we are at a wonderful conference which is supporting sustainable development in Africa, a fine continent, and sustainable development anywhere in the world is wonderful. At the present time, Africa seems to be very chaotic in many aspects. And my profession, investment management, deals with chaos in the stock market, and yet finds ways, the pathways to profits through all the random walks, which brings up one of the academic views of the stock market is that it is just a series of random walks which are very hard to have any sequence found for, and which therefore makes it very difficult from an academician's point of view anyway to make money in the stock market. But we who have to make our livings by doing so have other views. There's another generally accepted view, the efficient market theory of the stock market, which holds that the information has been supplied and gone over so thoroughly by investors that they have caused the fluctuations already to take place by the time an investor starts to do something in the stock market. So it is so efficient that from that point of view, you can't make money in the stock market. It's truly chaotic.
So efficient it's inefficient.
That's right. And those people who are professionals have tried to study that, and they have come up with something called the modern investment theory. And that tries to limit losses, but it is not necessarily very helpful in outperforming the market. So to give a few little credentials, for the 20 years from 1979 to 1999, I managed an investment program, the Starwood Strategic Program, which averaged 21% per year. It was not up at 21% every year, it was down some years, but on average, in each of those 2 decades, I averaged the same amount, 21%, which is something suggestive that there was some method to my madness. And that is an average that led to approximately a 50-fold gain for my investors. 48.7, not 100%, 50%. So I have some confidence that I know what I'm doing, and I view the market as structured in some ways that can help one determine what actions to take to make money in the stock market. Now, there are strategies of investing, of which I've reviewed over 32. The general experts in the market, the consultants to the industry, note that there are 7 strategies and ignore and don't know about the others. And perhaps that is why my way of investing, which takes into account many different strategies and how groups of people interact in the stock market to make their decisions and therefore have an effect on the price fluctuations, have found that I ranked in the top 2% during that 20-year period for my work, which is also suggestive that perhaps I knew a little bit better than others what I was doing. So, not to be braggadocio about this, but to try to make it from a point of view of a theoretical framework, I view the market as the interaction of groups of investors in accordance with their strategies of investing, interacting by buying and selling. So some who feel the market is high in accordance with their strategy may sell, and that gives the opportunity for those who think that the prices are going to rise to purchase. And as the changes take place, groups, of course, are not always thinking the same way, so therefore the market fluctuates as there is an adjustment in the prices to the potential for the various strategies to interact. And if one thinks about this more seriously, one can see that that is suggestive that the market acts as though it is a group of fluids interacting, like miscible fluids, which flow into each other and are therefore lost in the chaos of the total. But while they are interacting, or while groups of people get the idea that they want to buy or sell and overcome the, call it the opposition strategies, they have an effect on the market which is discernible by people who keep charts, and they see geometric figures in the stock market as a result of the interaction of many different players, so that the chaos shows up on their charts sometimes with head and shoulders tops or head and shoulders bottoms, or triangles, or all kinds of other geometric shapes which have forecasting ability. And people who have studied this give them certain percentages for being likely to evolve in an upward or downward or sideways fashion.
Let me ask a question to you. Could Africa start a stock market? Would that be a practical thing for Africa to do?
Well, it's very possible, but I think there may be stock markets in Johannesburg and other places where there already are investors. And what I'm really leading up to is that there are strategies of living whereby various not only investors but people find their way to make their lives. So I just want to finish, however, in the stock market it is possible to make some money fairly consistently and a lot of money with quite a lot of reliability, because in the universe itself we find chaotic conditions. In astronomy, they know that there are chaotic conditions, but the universe has evolved to have spiral nebulae and all sorts of shapes of nebulae of other universes that we can see in our telescopes. And if one understands the theory of chaos, one understands that in the periphery of chaos there can be structure, turbulence, it is usually thought of, and that's where fast action can occur. And it is the fast action area, the turbulence of the stock market, that I am particularly attracted to, having already achieved a very high record of success doing it with normal ways and means of investing, to go after what some experts have found as to make money at a very high rate. Whereas if I was in the top 2% at 21%, then think that there is a order of magnitude difference for those who make over 100% per year. That's a major jump, and that's what I'm focusing on at Starwood in what we're now actively engaged in through several different alternative methods of making money. And in Africa, there can be also several different ways to achieve sustainable development. Entrepreneurial activity is one of those. Entrepreneurial activity wherever, on whatever continent, can be very helpful. But particularly in Africa right now, when it is viewed in a way that is essentially chaotic. But my wife is one of those who is working with associates that have developed a new pesticide, insecticide from natural products, which is not harmful to people. It is environmentally friendly. And she is actively engaged in promoting that for killing the Anopheles mosquito, which is carrying malaria and other diseases, and other problems can also be remedied. Locusts can be wiped out by this as well. So there is one entrepreneurial way as an illustration of how Africa can be greatly benefit, where locusts and malaria are very important considerations. So therefore, I'm trying to weave a story how understanding the chaos of the stock market and maybe a new theory of how it works to suggest that it follows some laws of fluid dynamics is an alternative to the theories which have been projected as the efficient market theory or the random walk theory or modern portfolio theory. This is what some experts are utilizing, including myself, to understand and to be able to forecast certain mechanisms of the stock market by which to make money. And in a similar fashion, people find strategies of living. Some people become super wealthy because they have found a good strategy of living. and some people do great good because they have found a strategy for helping lots of people. Like the Good News Broadcasting is a very fine service. And so I just leave this with the thought that entrepreneurial activity of the sort that I just spoke about, that my wife is engaged in, Susan Beer, and many other people are also right now focused, and in this conference that we've been at, many people have addressed the issues and the problems of Africa and tried to find pathways to progress. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was marvelous. Susan actually is on our Water Hour weekly program, and Andrew's a good friend, knowledgeable in so many different areas. It's a big honor for me to get to speak with you. Thank you, sir. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're back. Okay, that is today's show. Heard from Nobel Prize winners. We heard from phenomenal flamenco dancer Pilar, Rioja, Jose, beautiful man, Cruz, who's helped us over the years, and Andrew Beer, Andrew's wife Susan, is on Good News talking about water and malaria. So, and I just learned actually there's a whole bunch of areas in Mexico, Cueto, Siena, Coahuila. In that state, there's some endangered areas or saltwater areas where there's endangered fish, and El Sumerdo in Chiapas, and Laguna de Siete Colores, Quintana Roo. Okay, I'm sure I have to practice my Spanish, but those are the names that were just written down that Pilar actually mentioned are very wonderful and concerning as well. So, about water. Thank you very much. As we say each week, be nice to somebody and reduce, reuse, recycle. Show number 28. Check out last week's as well and all our programming on our website. The link is on the credits. Last week we had organic gardening on. They taught us a lot of ways to save water, to make water gardens in your backyard. And next week will be another important program. So if you have somebody you'd like on Good News, or if you feel that you have something to share, please email us. And thank you very much for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye.